Vlogs! Hello, I'm Honey Rose. So you're wondering, how permanent is a corseted waist? Well, it's as permanent as you want it to be. It depends on your body type, it depends on the type of corset you're wearing, the amount of reduction, the actual shape of the corset, how long you wear that for, how much body fat you have when trying to corset, many factors. So obviously I can't tell you specifically anything, but I can tell you about my own experience. I've had a corset for about 4 years. That was when I first got my first one. It was a cheap one off of eBay, and you may have seen my video here on YouTube showing that. It's the black one. And then I realized very quickly that an overbust is not the right one to get, but I was just buying the cheapest one to try it. So I found that it gave me some good support in my back. So then I got a front lacing corset which had a 1-inch reduction just to help support my back because I have back pain associated with fibromyalgia, and I liked it a lot, but I felt my abs sort of kind of fold in a little bit when I tighten at the front, kind of like how people get a fold at the back when they tighten their corset at the back. So it felt a little bit uncomfortable to wear all the time. I got the next corset, which is the one you've seen here on YouTube as well, the white one with the pink, and then I got the black one with the purple, which I'm wearing right now. And you can't see my skirt here, but you can see the waist. So this is laced down to an internal measurement of 20.5 inches and an external measurement of 21.5. And my natural waist, I think, is around 25. So, is it permanent? Well, yes, for me, because, well, as long as I wear the corset, yes. Because this corset is made by Fran at Contour Corsets, and I spent a long time looking at different corsetiers before I decided to go with her. And I want to stick with one person really for my main structural waist training corsets, because that way she develops the perfect pattern for me and it fits my body amazingly. Now what I like about her is that the way she designs the corset is that here at the side and the back here it comes in. And what that's doing is it's wrapping the lower floating ribs around much more effectively than other corsets, which are quite straight here. See, it actually comes in there, and that is what I've noticed. I couldn't fully lace up the corset with the 22-inch waist, that's the white one with the pink, when I first got it because of my floating ribs. And slowly I could lace it, and then my floating ribs came around, and then I got this one and the same thing, couldn't fully lace it, and obviously now I can. It's bringing my floating ribs around, and that's what's making the waist permanent. And what is also good about this design is that it's pushing my intestines down, because the pressure comes in here above the the large intestine, and it directs all of the intestines down. So when you take off the corset, what you find is that if your intestines were normally probably sitting a little higher in the waist, and that creates a bit more outward pressure on your own natural waist. And so when that large intestine is moved down, the small intestine is under it, and it pushes it all down, and so you get a little bit more roundness in your lower lady area. If you're slim with no fat on you, you will notice a slightly rounder belly here, but here slimmer because the ribs have come round, and that is semi-permanent. If I don't wear my corset for a few weeks, sometimes I can feel a little bit of an ache where my floating ribs attach, because it's slowly opening up and the cartilage is trying to readjust, but that's the same as what happened when I did it up. But you might be saying, well, is that discomfort worth it? Well, if you suffer from really bad back pain in the spine, that is so intense that a slight dull ache in another area is a good payoff. And the reason I went with such a tight waist, obviously I like the look now after wearing them, but in fact I found that I get more vertical support to keep me in my posture if there's a pressure in here rather than having it straight, because there's a lot more room for twisting. Whereas when there's actually pressure here, it's underneath my ribs, so that the corset can't move, I can't move in the corset. When I move, the corset moves with me. This corset is perfectly fitted to my body. So I will take off the corset and put the dress back on and show you what my body looks like without the corset. So here you can see the shape of my body with this belt on here. And so here is where I find that the ribs come around. This belt wasn't meant to go with the dress, but I got it to show off the corset waist. So here's the floating ribs, and that's what's been brought round, and that creates this lovely slim waist. You have to work with those if you want the waist to be more permanent. So maybe I'll put myself side by side. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your specific question about your specific body type, but if you send me an email, I will have a go if you give me enough information. Otherwise, you can check out the Bishonenrancher. Her channel has lots of useful information, including one that talks a lot more specifically about the effects of a corset on the body and about permanence, and permanence of waist reduction. Okay, hugs. Bye.